A year in which McLaren once again took center stage, not only for its absolute dominance on the track, but also for the internal duel that pitted two teammates against each other in the fight for the world title. On one side, the cool and calculating talent of Oscar Piastri, the young Australian who impresses with his unwavering focus. On the other, the boldness and growing maturity of Lando Norris, the driver who has already established himself as one of the biggest names in the category. Both share the same car, the same team, and, above all, the same ambition, to be world champion. But what happens when two highly skilled drivers, with a real chance of lifting the trophy, must coexist under the same roof? How does a team deal with the inevitable clash of egos, strategies, and frustrations when, in practice, only one can emerge victorious? That's exactly what we'll explore today, with statements from Zak Brown, CEO of McLaren, who opened up about the behind-the-scenes nature of this rivalry, whether it's truly a good thing or not. So stay until the end of the video to understand this story. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more Formula One news. We are experiencing a rare spectacle in Formula One. McLaren is undoubtedly the great force of the 2025 season. The team already has a surreal dominance, with 11 wins and 14 Grands Prix, and is about to seal another constructor's title with an advantage of more than 299 points over Ferrari. But what really fuels the season is this race within the race. Oscar Piastri against Lando Norris. A battle that transcended the limits of sport and became the most thrilling narrative of the season. With 284 points against 275, Piastri leads by only 9 points, the tightest gap in recent years. And there's more. Piastri already accumulates 6 wins with 12 podiums in 14 steps, while Norris maintains the same consistency with others' 12 podiums, 5 wins, and also 4 poles for each one, a factual and aligned rivalry. The tension between Piastri and Norris took on palpable contours on the track, starting with incident at the Canadian GP. Norris, visibly engaged in a head-to-head battle, attempted to overtake Piastri with 3 laps remaining and ended up compromising both with an unwanted collision. This was the moment that made headlines. Rule number 1 is to not make contact with your teammate, and that's what I did, lamented the Briton, with painful sincerity after the race. Despite this, there was backpedaling and empathy. Piastri acknowledged the apology, downplayed hard feelings, and stated that the team needed to move forward. Still, the atmosphere was evident. Tension on the sidelines, emotions running high. Shortly after, no Hungarian Grand Prix. Strategy served as a catalyst for frustration. Norris opted for a one-stop plan, risky and unforeseen, but it ultimately proved to be the key to victory. Piastri, in turn, stuck with a conservative 2-stop approach, planned based on race theory. The result? Norris attacked with the unanticipated tactic and even overtook Piastri in the final stretch of the season, reducing the championship gap to just 9 points. This back and forth reinforced the idea that, even within the same team, the two are willing to sacrifice each other to advance, even within established parameters. And who should be the team's first driver? Leave a comment below. On the way to intensify the climate, radio communications during the race revealed Piastri's true motivations in a particularly tense passage. The Australian driver emphasized that his focus was on beating Norris, not Leclerc or any other rival, and it wasn't just idle talk. This frankness, from the back of the cockpit, gives the race an intimate and human feel. And what to say from interviews and behind-the-scenes, McLaren CEO Zak Brown has taken on the role of diplomat amid the hurricane. He declared that, despite the slippery slope of rivalry, transparency and respect are irreversible within the team. He doesn't hide the fact that the season requires emotional management. After all, the driver who wins the world championship will still be a teammate, but the one who loses will carry a greater burden. To mitigate this, he's already planning individual conversations with each driver. One will win, the other will lose. How do we want to handle this? He said, with an almost paternal sensitivity for such a competitive sport. Zak Brown, the CEO, revealed in an interview that the team literally keeps a scoreboard of who gets which update first, a system to ensure both pilots feel equally valued and prepared. If one receives an upgrade, the other knows they'll be next in line. There will never be a sense of hidden privilege. It's not just a matter of having a new front wing or some technical update. The conversation with the pilots is honest and direct. If you didn't receive the upgrade, we'll explain why, said Brown, reiterating that transparency is the foundation of internal peace. He made it clear that this avoids resentment and keeps the focus on what really matters: the track, performance, and teamwork. Furthermore, with the constructors' title virtually assured, a 299-point lead over Ferrari, the environment is more conducive to this controlled freedom. The intention is to let the drivers free to run within what Brown and Andrea Stella call papaya rules: respect, precision, and healthy competition without intentional collisions or explicit favoritism. Brown also stressed that, even recognizing the increasing pressure as the season progresses, there is no worry about things getting out of control. We're enjoying this. We're runners, and seeing these two go head-to-head is thrilling. We have an open relationship with both of them, so I see no reason why this shouldn't continue to be an epic battle to the finish, he said. Before I continue, please like and subscribe to the channel so the YouTube algorithm recommends this video. And let's get started. But emotional balance is also a focus. After the Hungarian GP, Zak Brown revealed that he plans to have individual conversations with each driver. One will win, the other will lose. How do we want to handle that? It's a management strategy that goes beyond the numbers, also focusing on the psychological aspect, preparing those who win and those who fall behind. McLaren has already distinguished itself with its dominant car, the MCL 39, the result of surgical and bold development, delivering efficiency, downforce, and reliability without surprises or radical updates. This technical balance in the car facilitates this equal approach among drivers, as all have access to the same competitive conditions. McLaren CEO takes on rivalry between Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri as a problem, but as a glorious opportunity, almost as if he could savor every twist and turn of this epic battle. In his own words, the job of managing this situation is very pleasant, and he celebrates the intense competition that takes shape week after week. The battle for victory we saw in Austria, with both cars side by side, was described by Brown as epic, fast, aggressive, respectful, a show of pure, clean driving. He doesn't see this rivalry as a nuisance, quite the opposite. Zak emphasizes that both drivers are guaranteed equality. They want the same equipment, fair treatment, and that's exactly what they get. This freedom to fight for the title among themselves, without restrictions, is part of the pleasure he finds in the current season. In a more formal moment, through an open letter to fans during F1's summer break, Brown reaffirmed that, while it may seem like a two-car race, rivals can't be ruled out. Still, he reinforced, "We believe we have the best driver lineup in F1 and wouldn't trade it for anyone else." What about fair choices? He makes it clear that both have equal opportunity to compete for the title on the track, and that the collision in Canada was a collective learning experience, something that took the pressure off the environment and boosted the team's confidence. However, the experience reminds Zak Brown of the explosive 2007 rivalry between Alonso and Hamilton. McLaren nearly lost the championship there due to poor driver management. He admits the risk of repeating that dark past. "We know what could happen." In 2007, two drivers who tie and lose the title by 1 point, says Brown, making it clear that there is nothing in the contracts that gives priority to one over the other, and that do not want to resort to team orders unless it is really necessary. Today, the championship is getting more intense with every turn. The advantage between the two drivers is minimal. Some point out that Piastri currently leads by just 9 points, with McLaren running away with the lead in the constructors' standings. This has brought to light the so-called papaya rules, informal guidelines of respect, healthy competition, and unintentional collisions. Brown claims to be fully confident that there will be no deliberate confrontations, remembering that both understand the limits, and that this keeps the team's sanity intact even in the heat of the dispute. And it doesn't stop there. When rumors of a possible reinforcement, like Max Verstappen arriving at McLaren, emerge, Brown closes the matter once and for all. "I am completely confident in my drivers," referring to Norris and Piastri as an unlikely couple, but one that has been essential to the team's success. Ultimately, Zak Brown wants this duel to be remembered not as a crisis, but as one of the greatest spectacles of Formula 1 2025. But tell me, what did you think of this video? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a thing.